Alright, here we are. I made myself a mission to test out a few stuff. The gist of it is I'm going to be taking off from this airfield here, Coboletti. We're going to be flying to our first waypoint over there, waypoint 1. Then we'll be flying to, you guessed it, waypoint 2. We'll be going in a southerly direction, then on to waypoint 3. At this point, we'll be descending into this valley type structure. We're all going over mountains. This is all mountainous, mountainy mountains. But from here, we'll be turning and approaching this valley. And this is a river valley with a road on it. And going down this road is this column of armored vehicles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them there. They're all BTR 80s. This is a truck with a anti-aircraft gun on it. This is a Jeep of some sort. You can see the white trail. They're snapped onto the road, and they're just going to follow this road till they get to their destination point. And they're going at 20 kilometers an hour, so it's very slow. I have lots of time to catch up to them. So the idea is that I'll fly my waypoints, enter the valley, and then start scanning for my targets, which will be at some point between here and there. So easy enough. This is a map of Georgia, Russia. I don't know my geography that well. This is the Black Sea, I think. Yeah, this is the Black Sea. Crimea. Cool. Anyways, enough geography. Let's get on to this. No, I don't want to save. I'm going to load the replay. There we go. Loading. Excuse me. So this is different in that I picked the mission time to be 6 a.m., so everything is dark out. Neat. Crickets. Turn on the electrics. I toggle off the ID tags. So I turned down the heads-up display because it's bright green. Asking for startup.
6. Кабулете. Запуск разрешаю. Ветер у земли 1,80. Скорость 2 метра в секунду.
Yeah, it's very bright, and I don't want that in my face if it's dark out. So I turn on my lights. Here we starting the engines. Lowering my taxi lights. See our plane number, 37. It's hilarious. Never get tired of that. 37 in a row. So these green lights, so they're turning off, so my engines have gotten up to speed. I'm asking permission to taxi. And there we go.
6. Кабулете. Разрешаю руление на полосу 2.
So in this mission, I've got a wingman. You can see him coming out as well. He's got his lights on. He's going to follow me. They've given me permission to go to runway 25. If we look at the map, you can see what runway 25 is right there. So that's where I'm going to be taking off from. Runways are named on sort of the sort of compass direction. Like if this north is 0, so 90, 180, 270. So this is kind of like a 250-degree angle. And conversely, or inversely, or whatever, this is runway 7, so that's like a 70-degree angle. So if you had no instruments and you didn't know where you're going, you just had a visual ID or whatever, you could, if they told you to land at runway 7, you'd know you're trying to land in this direction, the sort of 70 degrees to north. Anyway, that's a cool fact. I looked it up on YouTube. It's probably true. Let's watch this majestic beast taxi wobbling away. See the little parachute dispenser thing. That's that little sort of latch on the very back. that sort of tube structure there with the writing on the side. I think that's the chaff dispenser. Or it could be the infrared flare countermeasure thing. I don't know. My plane anatomy is lacking. So when you're taxiing, you can use your throttle to control your speed up, slow down. You can use the rudder pedals to, when your landing gear is down, your rudder pedals are connected to your front nose wheel. So that's how you can see me steering. So you push right or left on the rudder pedals to turn right or left. You can see the rudder actually moving when I do a turn. That's because I'm pressing the rudder pedal. This is a big runway to taxi down. See, it's still early morning. But yeah, you can see me, watch I do this turn, you can see the actual rudder itself turning. So here's the armored column that we're going after. It's very dark, so you can barely see anything. They got their lights out, which is sensible. These are the BTR-80s, the armored infantry transport things. It's kind of cool looking. You can see civilian traffic in the back. The guy with his lights on. They got their lights on. See another guy coming this way. Sees a bunch of tanks. He gives no cares. Just keeps on driving. I wouldn't care either. They're probably front big tanks, I guess. See, dawn is dawning behind us. Hey, truck. Oh, I'm asking for takeoff. I just heard the radio chatter. So we made our approach up to the runway here. Hopefully they give us permission, because if we don't get permission, then that won't be much of a game. I just take off anyways. What are they going to do? Send another plane to come catch me? It's like a waste of time. Ask for permission again. Oh, the blinding lights come on. That's the spotlights are up. So I'm going to try to line myself up here. Some cool looking radar truck there. Radaring. Put my taxi lights to sort of a takeoff position, landing position. Basically beam straight ahead like car headlights. Just so I can see where I'm going. Crank it up the throttle to about 80%. Got the brakes on. As we start to budge, the throttle up all the way. You can see the throttle being throttleized. Those two horizontal bars are my flaps on either side, so I'm in takeoff position. I've got flaps all the way down because I'm quite heavy. And I need all the flappage I can muster. So around 290, 300, we can lift off. As I retract the gear, the landing lights also retract, so that's convenient. Heads-up display, I pick on route mode, I pick waypoint 1 in the bottom right corner. It's 32 kilometers away. But I do have to turn to get there, so I'm going into sort of a gentle bank kind of thing. Still got my blinky lights on. Those are awesome. They intimidate the enemy. Why is he blinking so much? There's a runway from whence we took off. Blue lights, the white lights you want to land on, the blue lights are for taxiways. Don't land on the taxiway because that's not really good. banking around. I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to go. And I think I'm there. Yeah, you can see the dim arrow there. That's the direction directly to the waypoint. You can see the course indicator's off. That means I'm heading straight to the waypoint, but I'm not actually on course because I did such a lazy turn. Basically, I should be off to my left a bit and going towards that waypoint, but I don't really care. I don't need to be on course. I made this mission, so it's not super important that I'm on course. But I am heading directly towards the waypoint, so that's good. It's never bad. Got my instruments up here. This is angle of attack. This will start beeping if your angle of attack is off. I don't know much about it. The thing to the right side of it is your G-forces. G-force! I think it's about 1 right now, which is normal, so I'm not experiencing a normal flight. Straight and level. So this pod at the bottom, it's called a Mercury pod. It's a low-light TV system that hooks up to the targeting TV system in the plane, and it amplifies ambient light and it makes it easier to see. Because this mission's kind of dark, that's going to be very useful. On the outermost pylons, I've got some air-to-air missiles for self-defense. In the middle two, I've got 2 bomb-looking things, which are indeed bombs. They're called FAB-250s. They're 250 kilogram bombs, general purpose explodey bombs. This cluster of 8 tube things, those are called Vickers, V-I-K-H-R, I think. I can't remember. But they are laser-guided rockets with armor-piercing, armor-defeating warhead of some sort. They're a choice for taking out armored vehicles, obviously, which is what we're attempting to do. They have to work in conjunction with the laser designator. So when I'm trying to target something, I point at it with the TV system. I turn on the laser designator, which will be pointing to where the TV system is pointing, and then I'll be able to guide these rockets onto their target. Or they'll actually guide themselves. They'll head towards their beam riding lasers, or rockets, so they'll follow the laser beam somehow. Anyway, it's neat. They look cool when they fly. They go super fast as well. You can see my wingman in the background. Never catch me. Just too fast. Instrument lights are on red because dark, night vision, and all that stuff. So we're being told to go to another waypoint. So I'm banking. You can see I'm going right, but my left wing is up in the air. So the left wing gets a lot more air pressure, which causes the plane to actually kind of yaw or rotate in a counterclockwise direction. And that's called slipping. When your plane is slipping, you're kind of going slightly sideways. You're moving in a direction that the plane is not actually facing, and that's not good because you're not aerodynamic. How do you fix slipping? You just apply rudder. So if you're slipping one way, you apply rudder to straighten out the plane so it's actually moving in the direction that you're moving. You're not sort of sideways to that. The opposite of a slip is a skid, which is like what you can do with your car. You can skid in a plane too, but it's not as common. So when you're turning, you want to use your rudder to try to keep yourself in like a coordinated kind of a turn. In a video game, it's hard to tell. If it's a real plane, you'd be feeling yourself getting squished when you're doing a turn to the left and the right, so it'd be kind of uncomfortable. But in the video game, you just have to pretend, I guess. I don't know. I just squished myself in the chair. This is happening. That's my wingman. Place. So to my right is the valley that we're eventually going to descend into. You can sort of see it sort of tipped up. That's the beginning of the valley, and it's going to go into that road river network. Still 9 kilometers away from where we want to turn. I can see the valley here as a reference. Take a look at these guys. They're putting along. It's getting daylight behind them. You can see the truck with the anti-aircraft gun on it. That's probably the most powerful anti-aircraft weapon they have. I didn't want to make this mission too challenging for myself because I've got enough challenges as it is. Just trying to fly this stupid thing. Here we go. 4 kilometers away. Above these majestic mountains. I wish I could play the berserker song as this is about to unfold. So my idea here is I'm going to turn on the low light TV thing. And I'm going to scan. Okay, so now I'm going to turn. It's telling me to turn. You can see me adjusting the rudder to stop that slipping thing I was talking about. Oops. Turning. I'll try to point myself into this valley and try to locate the road. And then just sort of scan along the road line till I find the convoy. I'm in air-to-ground mode on the heads-up display. I've selected the 9A4172, which is those rockets, the bigger rocket things. Leveling out. There's the TV, it's clear in there. Skewing it down. And I'm looking around. So I just sort of generally point it in the valley somewhere, and I'm just going to try to work my way up the road. Yeah, you can barely see the road there behind these, you can see these power tower things. You can see the road with the little lamp posts on it. You can see vehicles actually sort of traveling around. So I'm just going to look down the road. These scales at the top, that's like in the direct center, it's looking straight ahead, the camera, and it's like 10 degrees each mark, so I can go like 40 degrees to either side. Whoops. And here, the big bar near the top is like straight ahead, so it can skew up 20 degrees and it can go down 80 degrees. Anyways, while I was babbling, I actually found the convoy. That's definitely them. This line of vehicles. The low light TV thing helps a lot because they light up nicely. So I've turned on this UA, that's my laser designator is now on. I've got somebody locked already. It's hard to do all this at the same time. And launch. See the rocket coming down. Boom. I think I locked up something else really quick after that. So you see another rocket plunge into the ground. I have no idea what it's shooting at. You can see when the rockets come down how they do a cool spiral. That's because they're sort of they're guiding themselves, they're sort of going around the laser beam as they track. It's kind of neat. They're trying to follow me with their machine guns. Look at shots of me, look at that. Ooh. No bueno. You can see the QT tubes. I fired 2 off. So if you're really quick, you can you have to keep the target lit up with the laser as you're shooting it, but once it hits, you can quickly switch to another thing and fire off again if you're fast enough. I just don't have the speed or ability to do that. It's very difficult. You have so little time to set up a shot because you're in a plane and you're moving quick. These guys went off-road. That's what the AI basically decided to do. This is the AA truck. See those big flash suppressors on this thing. I don't know much about them, but that's a pretty common Eastern Bloc sort of air defense weapon. Not sure how what the caliberage is. Anyways, it's not. It's dangerous. Stay away from it. So I did a loop around, and I'm coming back. Now that something's burning, it's easy to find like where I'm trying to get to. So I've got this thing. Yeah, I'm moving it around. I'm trying to find the burning spot. You can see me moving it. KC means it's like freely movable. I'm looking at a river. I'm disoriented. I don't know what's going on. I've got the camera locked on a river that's way below me, like right there. I'm trying to get it to where the vehicles are, and I see them, but I'm way too close. I can't get this all coordinated in time. So I just abort mission. This guy has no emotions whatsoever. Oh, they're taking shots. Good for them. It's going to be very hard for them to... yeah, there I go in the distance. It's going to be super hard for them to actually land a shot on, like a flying jet. But it's possible. This thing has a much better chance. I don't know why it's not doing anything, though. Maybe it needs more, I don't know. Hey, truck. I just keep on going. Nothing unusual happening here. Off to your Walmart or wherever you're going. So that was a failed pass, like I mentioned, so I'm going around the valley. Ooh, I'm zoomed in there. Where the hell? Yeah, so I came around, I failed. I'm trying to get space so I can redo this, make another run. You can see you have such little time to actually acquire the target, do like search for it, you have to look for it, you have to use that stupid camera thing. It's hard to see, you have to push a bunch of buttons, you're moving 400 kilometers per hour, and you're trying to adjust, make sure you're not crashing into the ground or doing something crazy. So there's a lot going on. You have very little time to do all the things you need to do. Lovely mountains. See me ruddering. I don't know how this works. Sometimes it uses the little top rudder, I think. Probably depends how much you push down on the rudder button. So I'm looking for, I think, yeah, if I remember, I was just looking for a flaming vehicle, which I don't see, so I'm too far back in the valley at this point, so I'm just going to follow the valley again. This low light TV thing's awesome, because it makes things light up super bright. The camera, it can go down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 degrees, so you can, once it's locked on something, you can practically almost fly over it before you lose tracking. So there we see a fire. I don't know if you saw that. We're sort of banking around to get lined up again. And I can move my camera down to where that burning nonsense is happening. That should get me close, which is what I do. And I see vehicles right away. I can see them parked there. So turn on my laser. No, it's not on yet. You should see a UA when I turn on the target designator. There it is, it's on. It locks right away. And I'm getting into a dive. There's the rocket. That was that truck, I believe. They're bits of truck. There's a guy driving. It's like station wagon. The Griswold station wagon. Gives no cares. You can turn the traffic off if you don't want them in a particular scenario. I think I turned it to like light. I should have just turned it off completely. Because you can actually hit these things. Not good. They're not real though. I don't know. Who cares? Just doing the same thing. Making space. Turning around. Lots of rockets left. See, I turned off my instrument lights because I no longer need them. It's not dark out anymore. I can use my day vision. It's my secret power. I have day vision. There I can see the burning wreckage, so I know where I'm trying to go. I locked the camera, moving it around, trying to find a vehicle. I can see them parked around. My laser's on. The laser's very high powered, so it's you have to turn it off between usage. You get like 2 minutes out of it. So I have to get this big circle onto where my designated target is, which is the little circle. Because it's a rocket, it's only got certain amount of latitude up and down. You have to get it sort of pointed at the thing before you shoot it. Even though it's guided, it can only be guided so much. And that hit close, but not quite. You can saw the crater sort of beside it. It's not this guy. I don't know where he is. They're not 100% accurate. That was close enough. There. Destroyed itself. It was a near miss. These BTR-80 things, they're lightly armored. They'll stop like machine guns or nearby fragments, but it's not going to stop these rockets that I'm shooting at them. It will mess them up. Making space once again. Man, you can give these guys orders and tell them to do stuff. I'm just not, so he's just kind of following me around. Like a little brother. Just leveling out this valley again. Picking a target. Which direction am I coming from? There I am. So repeat, I'm going in for another rocket attack. I think it's this guy I've got designated. Let's see the launch. I'm trying to line up because I got to get that thing, point it in the general direction before you launch. Here it comes. Oh, it's going at a different guy. What the hell happened there? Oh, look at this guy. I put infantry in like another part in the game. They're irrelevant. Let's go through them. This guy's tracking me. Where did the... Oh yeah, so that's what happened. It hit that tower. I think it was going after this guy or the guy behind him. But I was thwarted by that tower. Damn you, tower! So they're going back onto the road. And they're, I guess the AI has decided it's time to get trucking. So they're just going to go back into a column and continue on their way. Turn it around. So see this sort of handicapped looking B. I've selected my bombs. That's Russian for B, for bomb. You can see these 4 indicators that corresponds to the pylons that have bombs on them. I was playing with these things on the right where you see it says number 2. That means I'm trying to select 2 pylons. I'm selecting the interval on the left side, which is I think 0.4, because I want to spread them out a bit. So I'm going to do a bombing run here. Gotta try to get going in the right way. See the pipper at the bottom. Trying to find something to put my bombs onto. You can see the convoy going, and that's where I want it. So I hold the trigger down, you can see the arrow dropping. I'm going level, I'm trying to keep it level. and they've dropped. Oops, I missed that. There's a convoy. It's hard to see the bombs. They should impact though. Boom, boom. I saw those 2 hits, and that was like a good shot. I put the interval between the bombs, so that hit right on the road. You can see the 2 craters. One was pretty close, but they're large bombs, as I mentioned before, so it took out that APC. The interval will help you spread out the damage, depending on how high you are and all that stuff. That type of bombing was called CCRP, Continuously Calculated Release Point. So you put your pepper on the thing you want to hit, you pull the trigger, and then it'll display on the screen. I'm going real fast here. I'm trying to make space. It'll display on the screen indicator to help you keep level. It's called a keel, I think it's called. And this is for level bombing. And that's what I attempted to do there, and it actually worked out pretty well. But yeah, you point the pipper at a thing, you press the trigger, you'll then get an indicator telling you to hold course and to keep you on course, and you just go sort of straight and at the same speed. And it will automatically, as long as you got the trigger held down, it'll release it at the right moment to hit that thing you initially selected. When you select it, it turned it into like a diamond type shape. But you don't have to be actually looking at your target. Once you pick it out with your pipper thing, you can just fly a level and it will hit the thing you selected. So this is trying a different way. So I've got 2 bombs left. As I had 2 racks selected, so it'll just fire the left and right rack at the same time. I'm going to do something, a dive bomb here, which is a different way of using unguided bombs. That's my wingman. So to do a dive bomb, I'm going down. You can see the degree, I'm doing like a 10-degree down. This is called Continually Computed Impact Point. You'll see the symbology change when I can actually release the bomb, and when that, it'll show like sort of a bomb line that it's a course that's going on. And when that occurs, so I'm in a shallow dive, still 10 degrees down. When that occurs, it'll hit, the bombs will hit exactly where I told it to release. So right there. That was a miss. See the explosion on the top of the hill. So ironically, that's the more accurate way of bombing. And I failed. So that's it. So that's what I wanted to do here, is just to use these cool weapons. Actually, weapons aren't cool. If this is real life, it'd be horrific. I'm kind of a hippie. That's that. Let's get into the cockpit here. I'm still in air-to-ground mode. But at this point, I'm just going to get out of here. I go to en route. Going through my modes, and I'm RTB, Airport 13, which is Kobaleti, I think. And it's telling me where to get on to the return to base point. I'll leave this carnage behind us. Moving on with my life. You guys sit there and burn. Jerks. They're probably scared I'm coming back. Look at that truck in the back. He doesn't care. He's just clipping through all this wreckage. Some radio chatter. I'm asking for permission to land. If you tell them you're landing, they'll turn on the lights for you, which is nice of them. See these ridiculous deep clouds. Looks nice, but I think they have to adjust the saturation colors in this game. So you can see Kobaleti just over my shoulder. got 22 kilometers to get there. 3,600 meters in the air. She had a cockpit radio. That'd be awesome. The set deck. Complete berserker. So I'm going into a dive because I'm up high and I want to, well, not be high. You have to be near the ground when you land. Some big pilot tips there. See that little 27? That means I'm dropping 28, 29, 30 meters per second. That's also duplicated here. It's telling me I'm going about 25 meters down. 0, if that arrow is at the 0, that means I'd be going level. If it was above the 0, that means I'm climbing. So you can see the rate, I'm going 50 meters per second, like I'm diving quite hard here. So the heads-up display is always got a backup actual instrument. This even has a backup slip indicator underneath it. Got my air brakes out because I'm trying to not get going too fast. Some majestic mountains. Lovely Black Sea to the left. There's the airport. And this hat OC is the landing. So we hit the waypoint to the return to base. Now it's telling me to go land by indicating the direction it should go. Less than gentle turn here. What's up with that cloud? So when you're in landing mode, the hat OC, the ILS in the airport activates, and it will give you, it sends out like radio signals. This is your attitude director indicator, so that horizontal yellow bar is the glide slope, and that will guide you like on sort of the descent that you want to be at. Right now I'm over it, so it's telling me I should go down a bit. The vertical bar is tells you that you need to go left or right. What you want to do is put the oh, my landing gear is coming down. I also put down my landing lights too. Landing gear can come down around 400 or so. Yeah, this attitude director thing, if I put my white circle, the center of the plane, onto the yellow thing, that would be guiding me to the correct course that I should be at. I'm not really following it. You can see I'm completely off it. I'm trying to match the glide slope a bit because I am far too low. So it's telling me to pull up. So a perfect landing, you'd have those two things centered exactly in this white. It would be like a cross symbol over the white circle, or under it rather. So here I come. .380 is way too fast. I'm trying to slow down. You'd probably wreck your tires if you tried to land right now. And I'm also off to the right quite a bit. So I'm trying to pull up to drop my speed. I want to try to get below 300 or close to it before I actually put my wheels down. So this is actually kind of a bad landing. Just look how much runway I have. Not much. So touchdown, cool. On the brakes, brake shoot. That's why you want to drag shoot, so you don't go off the runway.
6. Заруливайте на стоянку.
Looks different than the light of the day. Another successful mission, kind of. Fun. If I was a better video editor, I'd take this part out, but whatever. Just deal with it.